Live, KVRR Local News at 7 is on right now.
Horror in Minnesota as healthcare workers scramble for their lives against a shooter at a clinic. We have the latest on the man in custody and the unfolding investigation this morning.
Then opening arguments begin in the Trump impeachment trial. What to know from the first day surprises and where it could go from here.
Then another warning this morning from healthcare providers amid the pandemic, why the cold and the coronavirus are making it harder than ever to stay healthy.
And finally, the pandemic is keeping most of us apart, but for these couples, it's bringing them together like never before. A bit of news you'll love as Valentine's Day gets closer.
Live, KVRR Local News at 7 is on right now.
Good morning. It is just after 7 a.m. Thanks for joining us for your only local news from 7 to 9 a.m. I'm Emily Welker.
And I'm Adam Ladwig, and we have the latest on a tragedy in our region, a shooting at a health clinic in southern Minnesota.
That's right. It's a story that the investigators in the case have been working on since yesterday, overnight. We've got lots more to tell you about coming up later in this morning's broadcast. But first, we're going to take a look at what the morning's weather is going to bring. More brutally cold temperatures, so be warned. We're going to head right on over to KVRR morning meteorologist Marshall Downing. Good morning, Marshall.
Good morning, everyone. So, starting off at minus 15 with pretty clear skies, feeling more like it's 34 degrees below zero right now. So it's cold, a lot like yesterday. Our high temperatures won't get quite as warm in the afternoon. That's the big difference for today. So we've got our wind chill warning to the north and advisory to the south. Some of those getting down towards minus 50 and minus 40, like what we've got this morning, and then things aren't really going to get better as the week goes along. Most of our temperatures yesterday.
You're watching KVRR Local News, where local news comes first.
Now, the farmers' work is never over, even when it's 10 below zero out. And this morning, they're busy preparing for planting season once the weather finally warms up.
KVRR's George Gonzalez has more on the farm outlook for 2021.
Live, KVRR Local News at 8 is on right now.
One person is dead and several injured this morning after a shooting at a Minnesota health clinic. Learn more about the suspect in the shooting and hear from an unexpected hero who might have kept the tragedy from becoming worse.
And see what it took to rescue nearly 24 anglers stranded on the Minnesota ice.
Giving Hearts Day is but a day away. Today, we're highlighting a group that you can help that's been hit hard by COVID, the Veterans Honor Flight.
And freeze your pants. We tried out the cold weather trick that props up your pants without any help.
Live, KVRR Local News at 8 is on right now.
Good morning. It's just after 8 a.m. Thanks for joining us for your only local news from 7 to 9 a.m. I'm Adam Ladwig.
And I'm Emily Welker. And I really appreciate your efforts to, explore the wonderful world of social distancing and freezing your pants. And I would love to be that proactive, but that would require getting out in the cold, and I'm not doing that.
Okay. Well, you can if you want to. I'll show you how easy it is to freeze a pair of your jeans and have them stick upright. It's just some fun.
Yeah.
If you bundle up, because you are going to need to bundle up no matter how long you spend outside. So start off the hour with a check of that frigid forecast with meteorologist Marshall Downing. Marshall, how cold is it today?
Well, good morning, everyone. Temperatures are going to be a little bit colder today than yesterday, but winds are also going to be a little calmer. So as it ends up, wind chills will be about the same, and there's not going to be a lot of difference from today to yesterday. We do have a lot of sunshine, a lot like yesterday. Minus 14 is our temperature right now with a wind chill of minus 34. Still got our warning and advisory to the south to last all the way through Sunday, same as what we've had for the past few days. Most of our
opioids is the leading cause of overdoses in Fargo.
Runners share their disagreements with the Dakota Access Pipeline during a protest in Fargo.
Second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump begins with a vote on whether it is unconstitutional.
Medical experts share tips on leading a heart-healthy lifestyle and the importance of knowing hands-only CPR.
Live, KVRR Local News at 9 is on right now.
Two of the nurses came running out to my vehicle and got in. They said they heard about 11 shots within a minute, and they didn't see a shooter, but they assumed that's what it was, and then about 2 minutes later we saw the front windows be shot out.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. One person is dead and 4 are injured in an attack at a Lina clinic in Buffalo, Minnesota, about 40 minutes northwest of Minneapolis. 3 people are in stable condition, and 1 has been discharged from the hospital.
The alleged shooter is in custody, 67-year-old Gregory Ulrich of Buffalo. According to court documents, in 2018, a judge dismissed a restraining order violation charge against him and ruled he was not competent to stand trial. He was ordered to not have contact with an Alina doctor and in turn in guns and permits to carry. Meredith Wood has more in our lead story.
Is diagnosed with cancer.
Almost a year into the pandemic, there's a bit of promising news for America's battle with COVID-19. In New York, I'm Alex Hogan. I'll have that story coming up.
Live, KVRR Local News at 9 is on right now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Today has been the coldest day of the year, but tomorrow could be even colder. Meteorologist Noah Cote joins us with our first forecast. Noah, how warm did we get today?
Well, unfortunately, here in the FM area, we were not able to get above zero. We stayed at -3 as our high, but we dropped throughout most of the day today. I'll get to what we saw later in the newscast, but clear skies tonight. That's going to allow our temperatures to cool down even more. So that's what happens when we know that's what happens when there's clear skies. Temperatures just going to continue to drop as low as they can. -20 all the way up in Langdon right now. -24 in Candu. Couple of -20s up there along the border too. -14 here in Fargo. -15 in Grand Forks. And here's what the feels like temperature is right there. -30 here in the FM area. -34 in Grand Forks. -45 up in Candu. For tomorrow's forecast, we're going to get only up to a -6, and the only word I see there is just cold with some partly cloudy skies. And it's Saturday, so it's time for weather trivia. After a warm above freezing day, which category of road will develop ice first in freezing temperatures? A, entrance or exits ramps, tunnels, underpasses, or overpasses? I'll have that answer in the full forecast coming up in a little bit.
A local high school swim team is showing its support after a teammate's diagnosis with a rare form of cancer. KVRR's George Gonzalez has more on what the team is doing to help raise funds for the family and how you can help.